welcome to Darvanalee Design Studio. My name's Nicole Reed and today we're going to be working on a block called the Wild Goose Chase, and this is the block here. As you can see, we're working with a flying geese component today, and this block's actually put together a little bit different. We put this together on the diagonal, so let's get started. Okay, so there's just a couple of things that you need to do today. You just need to head over to our blog, and there you will find a downloadable printable pattern, and print that off. Head back here, and we're going to cut out some of our fabric. So we've got 4 different fabrics at the moment, and as you can see, I'm just using 2 today, so I've got a lot of background in mine, and you can see from the picture here that we're getting an X. And we're going to be working with flying geese units today as well. So once you've got everything cut out, you'll have 20 patches of A, you'll have 4 patches of cut B, and you'll have 32 patches of cut C. Now I know that sounds like a lot, but you only actually have to cut 16 squares of that, and then 8 squares of that, and then you will cross cut that twice, and you'll get your 4 patches out of one of your squares. And then our center block is a 3.5 inch cut. You're also going to need a rotary cutter, some pins, some best press or your favorite starch, quilting rulers, and also some thread snips, and your sewing machine all set up and ready to go. So as you can see, I've actually already cut my pieces, and we are going to start with the flying geese units. So that consists of cut A and cut C, and the coloured bit I've actually got this time, I've actually got it going around the outside as opposed to being on the centre triangle. So I'm going to set these aside, and then we will get started on those. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your cut A, and you're going to take 2 of your cut C. And what's going to happen is we're going to create our flying geese. So it's going to end up looking like that. So first of all, we're going to lay our flying geese triangles, which are the coloured pieces at the moment, and we are going to line them up along the bottom, and there is going to be an overhang at the top of the white triangle. And then you're going to stitch along here with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then we're going to press that open, and then we'll add the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you how it looks. So you can see there I've put the first one on, and now I'm going to get the second one and do exactly the same thing. Okay, so that's our first unit done, and we're going to continue doing that with the remainder of our pieces from cut A and cut C, and we're going to make 20 of these. So I'm going to continue doing that, and then we'll start with the rest of the assembly. All of our units, so now what we're going to do is we're going to join these together like so, so our geese are all flying in the same direction, and you will end up with a component that looks like this. So you'll need 4 of these units. Okay, so now we've got all our flying geese units sewn together, and now what we're going to do is we're going to assemble the block. So I like to just lay it out so I know where everything's going. We've got a square to end up in the center, which was cut D, and then we also have our larger triangles from cut B, I think it was, yes, cut B, and we're going to sit them in there like so. Now how this block goes together is it goes together on the diagonal. So this is our first row, this is our second row, and this is our third row. And you would notice that you've still got some triangles left. Once we've assembled all our rows, then we will put our corner triangles on, and that will give us a square. So we're going to first of all do row 1, and we're going to line our side up. So you've got your triangle. We're going to take it over to this like so, and there is an overhang at the end. Okay, that is supposed to be there, that is fine. And then we're going to go and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance down this side here. Okay, so just along here, using your scant 1/4 inch seam allowance, and being very careful because you are working with triangles, so you're going to have to be very gentle that you see how much give that's got. You do not want to stretch it, so just let it feed through your sewing machine. Now you would have noticed that I've actually not pressed my seams open on these ones. They weren't going very well being pressed open, so I've just let them go where they want to, and that's where they seem to be happy, is just going to the dark side. And I suggest that that's what you do. Just let them go to where they need to go with your flying geese. It will stop all that warping and stretching and everything like that. So there's our first piece on, and then we're going to repeat it with the same with the other side. And again, just using a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we're going to sew down here, making sure that everything's lined up. Put a couple of pins in there if you need to. I'm fairly confident with not putting some pins in there, but if it was moving around on me a lot, I would definitely put some pins in. Okay, so now we're going to do row 2, and that is a geese component and a square and that one, and we're going to work on the diagonal. Okay, so that's our row 2 done, and then we're going to repeat the same with row 3. Okay, so now we've got our 3 components, and we're going to take row 1 and we're going to line that up with our center seams and pop a pin in there. And we're almost done our block. So making sure that you're nesting your seams really well. And I'd pop a one in the center there, just so it doesn't stretch or move on you. Working with triangles can be a little bit tricky, but if you just treat them very gently and just let them go through feed through the sewing machine. So you can see there it's just sort of starting to kick down, so if I put a pin in there, that's going to hold it nice and straight for me. Alright, and then we just repeat that with the last side. Making sure that we're nesting our seams and pinning correctly. Okay, that's all pinned in place, and we can sew that on now. So basically we've got our X block, and now we're going to add the final triangle on. So you've got this edge here, then we need to turn it into a square. So you're just going to place your remainder of your, you should have 4 white triangles, and you're going to pin them into place, and then you're going to sew that. Now you can see there's quite a bit of overhang, so I can just get rid of that and even that up a little bit, and now that'll make it nice and easy for me to just pin in place and sew it into place. And I'm going to repeat that with all 4 corners, and then we'll be finished our block. Okay, so there is our block. It's all finished and said and done, and that is block 9, and it is called Wild Goose Chase. So I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial and enjoyed learning how to put a block on the diagonal together. It's a little bit tricky working with so many triangles, but I'm sure that you would have all got it. If you like this video today, give us a thumbs up down below, leave us a comment and tell us what you thought. Hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and that way you won't miss out on any future posts. My name's Nicole Reed for Darvanalee Design Studio, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.